Hi guys, Steady Eddie here. Hope all is well with everyone. Well, as many of you will know, I've travelled through Vietnam quite a lot during these last winter months, beginning in Hanoi late last year, and then travelling from Da Nang, Nha Trang, Hoi An, Monet, and finally ending up in Saigon. So there's been quite a lot of videos, and I hope they've given you an idea of what to expect from this great country. But before I end this Vietnam series, there's one final video to make, and that is the overall cost of Vietnam. How expensive, or how cheap if you prefer, is Vietnam for the traveller? Well, when I first heard of Vietnam as a kid watching TV, it was for all the wrong reasons. But as I recall, I first heard of Vietnam as a popular travel destination back in the 1990s, and the word was back then that it was cheaper than Thailand. And that was saying something, because back then Thailand was said to be a great value country. So how are things today? Well, here's a point I want to make. Years ago, Vietnam was said to be cheaper than Thailand, but now the gulf between the cost of those two countries is widened, mainly because of the strong Thai baht. And Vietnam is now, for most things, a lot cheaper than Thailand. I'm talking here about food, drink, hotels, and travelling from place to place. So stay tuned, and by the end of this video, you should have a good idea what prices to expect when travelling through Vietnam. So let's begin with the capital, Hanoi. Well, if any place in any country is likely to be the most expensive, it's going to be the capital, right? Well, not so with Vietnam. If Hanoi is more expensive than anywhere else, then you'd hardly notice, because Hanoi is a great value city. If you're in Hanoi as a tourist, then you will most likely be staying around the Old Quarter. This is the most characterful part of the city, and it's packed with restaurants and bars and coffee shops, and a lot of them look so inviting. I like Hanoi. There really is a good feel to the place. So, for food and drink in Hanoi, what kind of prices are you looking at? Well, remember, the Old Quarter is very much geared up to tourism, so expect to pay a higher price than elsewhere in the city. That said, I see a lot more Vietnamese than Westerners in the crowded bar street areas, so it can't be that expensive. Point worth remembering is that Hanoi is a capital city, so if you were to compare the prices to Thailand's capital, well, there is no comparison. If any more proof are needed that Vietnam is a lot cheaper than Thailand, you will see it most in the prices between Hanoi and Bangkok. Hanoi is still great value, and Bangkok isn't. Okay, so let's move on from Hanoi. Let's head south to a couple of well-known cities by the sea. Da Nang, where there's not much nightlife but a lot of building work going on, and Nha Trang, Vietnam's most well-known beach city, which now caters mainly for Russian tourists. Well, Da Nang is a nice enough city with reasonable prices for everything. I rather like this bar restaurant. Okay, so the portions are quite small, but the food is very tasty, it's good value, and the staff are terrific, as are a lot of the Vietnamese people. Not much nightlife in Da Nang, it's very much a developing place. If you want nightlife, head further south to Nha Trang. Like I said, there's many Russian tourists, and whether they have anything to do with the current prices is anyone's guess. But what I will say is that the beachfront bars here can either be very cheap or very expensive. I like this nice, cozy little beach bar, which is popular with expats. But if you go into the well-established, plush-looking places on the beachfront, you will be paying high prices. It's up to you. Is this for me? Oh my God, doesn't that look magnificent, eh? Looks magnificent. That is Louisiana Special Red or whatever it is. Oh, just give me nuts as well. Nuts. 600 millilitres. And that is the very reasonable price of 90,000 Vietnamese dong, which is approximately £3 for this environment here. Look at this. I'd say this is a bloody good place to be, and a bloody nice pint or more of ale to be drinking. God, lovely stuff. If you were after really good value in the Trang, then this little restaurant close to the hotel I was staying is terrific. Lovely food, staff and prices. I ate here most days during my stay in the Trang, and every meal I had was good. Okay, so let's move on now to a much smaller town. This is the charming stopover place of Monet, which is located between Nha Trang and Saigon. Nice little town, still with a very Russian influence, but you know, some great little restaurants to be had here. I like this little restaurant here, which for this lovely meal, and a couple of Heinekens, comes in at slightly more than $5. Wow, lovely stuff. Lovely meal, couple of beers, 225,000 Vietnamese dong. Can't beat that for value. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the big bad city in the deep south of Vietnam, the legendary Saigon. Well, obviously things are going to be a bit more expensive here. If you are eating or drinking in some of these well-established, very, very glamorous bars in the main Hoi An District 1 area of Saigon, then food and drink here is, of course, going to be more expensive. In fact, it is quite expensive. But you will, of course, get better value if you head to the back streets of this area. Okay, now here's an idea. This is a little backstreet place that sells beer. See the prices are. Now I've got to say that 333 beer is one of the cheapest beers you can get in Vietnam, but I don't like it. Heineken is quite widespread, and Heineken is Heineken, isn't it? Very good. You got Tiger beer, which I'm not very keen on either. The Saigon Red, that is quite a nice beer. The Saigon Green, not so nice. But Heineken is quite widespread. And also you can get Strongbow cider at very, very reasonable prices. So I'm quite impressed with that. I like a bit of cider. Bit of variety. Take a picture of the cat. Hello fella, how are you, eh? What's that? Okay. Heineken Beer here is 20,000 Vietnamese dong for a can, which is really cheap. That is less than $1. So even in the back streets, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Hello fella, you alright? He's a big boy, isn't he? Big boy. You having a good day? Did he shake his head there? No, I don't think he is. Okay, sitting in a back street drinking a can of Heineken may seem like a bit of a cheap thing to do. The fact is, this is 20,000 Vietnamese dong. This would cost you more than 3 times the price if you were to drink this same amount in that well-known bar that I was in yesterday. So, you know, it pays to tank up on a couple of cheap beers before you have your meal. Bloody gut. Okay, so these backstreet alleyways of Saigon, located around the Hoi An Phen Glau area of District 1, are a great place to go in search of cheap beer and cheap food. Now, what have we got here? Pork chops grilled with French fries, 79,000 dong. That's just over $3. Beef steak, pepper sauce and French fries, 150,000 Vietnamese dong, which is just over $6 US. Sounds good to me. Well, I love the wall art. Very, very nice, inviting looking place. Nice Vietnamese, French artwork on the walls there. Looks very, very nice. Very, very cozy looking gaff. I like it already. Garlic bread, Vietnamese style. Lovely stuff. The crusty French bread that you get in Vietnam is second to none, I'd say. Love it. And now we've got pork chops with fries. Looks very, very tasty. With the garlic bread, of course, goes down very, very nicely. Traditional HP sauce. Yellow mustard, yeah, a good taste of England here. Well, that went down well, didn't it? Lovely, tasty food. I'm always careful about eating the salads because, you know, you never know what water they've used to wash them in. And those tasty Saigon beers, this is the Saigon Red, which is, it's a nice beer. It's a nice beer. Always goes down well. And the total cost for that was 184,000 Vietnamese dong, which is about, I think that's about $8 US, something like that for all that. 3 beers, nice meal, and very, very nice service. Hello. Now that was a bloody good meal. 3 Saigon beers, pork chops and fries, garlic bread. All of that for 184,000 Vietnamese dong. I'd say that is terrific value. A good meal like that, I feel good, okay? Now, to locate this place, there you go. Just have a look at that over there. Across the road there, you've got 241 to 21 Phen Glau Street, okay? It's up a side alleyway, okay? And it's well worth a visit. Okay, so you can get great value food if you venture into the back streets of Saigon. But what about the main touristy areas? Well, this is of course the glitzy, glamorous, over-the-top Hoi An Street of District 1. It's a lively place, frequented by a lot of, you know, young traveller types. There's a lot of glamorous bars here, which are quite expensive. The prices vary, of course, but in a lot of those expensive looking bars, that's exactly what they are. If they look expensive, then they probably are expensive. You know, you may well pay $4 for a bottle of beer here, which will cost you a quarter of that price in the back streets. But it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, there's plenty of cheap booze and cheap grub if you sit outside in these little pavement cafe places. You can get a nice beer for $1. You can get some nice food for maybe $3. You can still be in Hoi An Street and eat and drink at a very reasonable price. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, which is part 1 of a 2-parter. Part 2 will be coming soon, in which I discuss such things as the cost of hotels, transport, and a word about tourist traps in Vietnam. So, I'll say thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if it's been useful to you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. A big thanks to those who already have. Have a great day, a great evening, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.